Tony Blair. Now, commercial real estate agents Savills have estimated current demand for high-quality office space in the Dublin region at 2.9 million square feet. The assessment comes as NAMA announces it's to fund a planning application for the country's tallest office block, which will tower 73 metres above the Three Arena and the River Liffey at the Point Village in Dublin's North Docklands. It seems as if this landmark development and other planned office space can't be delivered quickly enough. Roland O'Connell is chairman of Savills and joins us now in studio. That is the case, Roland, isn't it? I mean, you're saying 2.9 million square feet of demand. This landmark building will fill about a tenth of that in time.
That's correct. There's a huge demand for office space at the moment. It's all down to jobs growth. There's more and more jobs being created every day, and most of those are office-based jobs. People need offices to sit in, and so there's been, over the last number of years, a huge take-up of the oversupply that had been in the market, and we're now down to a situation where we need to see a lot of construction to keep up with the pace of demand.
Now, this so-called Exo Tower, right beside the Three Arena, most people will know where that is there at the West Link Bridge. It really will be a landmark building. Not only will it be the tallest in the country, but it faces out to sea. You'll see it coming in anywhere coming into Dublin Port, won't you?
You will. Well, it's at the East Link Bridge. And
yes,
you're right. It's the gateway to Dublin, and it's directly opposite where Dublin Port intend to build their new cruise ship arrival terminal. So they're very exciting development plans for their portion of the port directly opposite this. But it's a hugely exciting building, and you can get a foretaste of it in that there are already offices down in the Point Village Centre where Yahoo have recently moved in. And if you go into their offices, there's fantastic views both out to sea and over the port, which is fascinating because it changes every day, ships coming and going, and indeed all the cars being imported. One day car park is full, the next day it's empty, but you can look all the way up to the city as well. But it's exciting for other reasons because it already has fantastic infrastructure down there. You've mentioned the Three Arena. There's a fantastic Gibson Hotel. There's, very importantly though, the Lewis comes right down to this, and via the Lewis you'll be able to come up in 2 years' time, by the time this is built, to Grafton Street out to the south side of the city if you wish. But it also connects in with the DART system at the Connolly Station, and indeed the Arrow service in the northern area commuter rail line. So it really is hugely accessible. And then by car you can get out to Dublin Airport in 15 minutes, or to the M50, or indeed via the East Link Bridge to the south side.
Given that location and given its landmark status, I suppose, in terms of its height, will you be letting this to particular types of prestige clients, or effectively, given the demand in the Greater Dublin area, will this effectively be first come first served when it's built?
Well, it'll be first come first served, and I suppose if you look at the general Docklands area, the demand has been very, very widely based. There's been traditional professional services like accountants firms, solicitors firms, and whatever. There have been a lot of financial services companies, Citi, State Street Bank, people like that are down there. And there's also, over the last number of years, been a huge growth in demand from technology firms, Google, Facebook, Airbnb, all of these types of companies. So we expect it'll come generally from those sectors.
Now, under this SDZ planning arrangement, once Dublin City Council approves it, it can't be appealed to a third party. Not determined yet by NAMA how this will be funded, similar to the Boland's Mills type development across the river.
Well, correct. As you know, any sort of commercial office development is a slow process. So the first thing you need to do is design up a building, then lodge for planning, which is what Stephen Tennant and Paul McCann, the joint receivers from Grant Thornton, are doing today. But even when you get planning permission, you then need to go to what's called detailed drawing or design stage. And that'll take 3 to 6 months to work up the very detailed plans before you can then go to tender, go to construction firms and say, how much are you going to charge me to build this? So once planning permission is obtained, and during that detailed design phase, which I understand NAMA will also fund, then the work on how are we going to fund this will be done, and that could be in a myriad of different ways.
Now, with rents going to 50 or 60 euros per square foot, any danger of a bubble by the time this building is delivered, say, in about 3 years' time?
Well, that's what everybody's asking, and we know from property cycles in the past that inevitably you go from undersupply to oversupply at some stage. If every person who had an office site in Dublin started building today, you could have an oversupply in 2 years' time. But our best estimate is that you're unlikely to reach that stage until 2020, 2021. And one of the reasons is that the people lodging for planning applications have been a bit slower than they had been in similar cycles in the past. Secondly, obtaining funding for development has been much more difficult than in previous cycles. So as I say, not 2018, maybe 2020-21.
Very briefly, this tower, Exo Tower, could be the catalyst for major retail development down there at the Point Village?
Well, I think it will be. As I've said, we have fantastic infrastructure down there already. We have a beautiful large square, which is a great focal point. There's already a shopping centre built, and we're announcing some lettings to people like Starbucks and Eddie Rockets, and more will follow. So it's all kicking off down there.
And who knows, Duns may even decide to locate there eventually. Roland O'Connell of Savills, thanks indeed for joining us.
Thank you.
Coming up, why pharmacy chains may be eyeing up your local chemist shop. Stay with us.
Newstalk Breakfast.